Hey y'all, it's me, Majora Peach, your local social justice weeaboo, and today I'm going to relieve some stress that I incurred by trying to respond to the Button Mapper's recent response video, and I'm going to do that by playing some golf. No, I'm not. I'm going to respond to their topic. They asked the question, are females well represented in video games? Wow, that's a great question. You should go check out the Button Mappers in the response thread and also some of the video responses so far, as well as the community response video coming out at the end of the month for February. I'm going to answer this question by focusing primarily on female protagonists in video games across console eras. And not necessarily as in they are a protagonist, but the protagonist, the main character in the game. Let's start with the Atari era. In the Atari era, we had Miss Pac-Man. Did we have anyone else? I'm not sure. You're going to have to ask Alex from Turbo Zone. That's where I'm going to recommend you. In the NES and the SNES era, this was a little bit more of a breakout era for the female character, with series such as Metroid, Phantasy Star, Valis, Alicia Dragoon, Burning Force, and Donkey Kong Country 3, where you could play as Dixie Kong. You could play as her in 2 as well, but she was the lead in 3. Shame that people don't really like 3. There was also a couple import games that never made it to the West, and I thought they were worth mentioning. Such as Umihara Kawase, Monster World 4, and Lufia. They did make it later, and we're getting a remake of Monster World 4. It's the one with Ashin, the kind of merchant-looking girl. But anyways, just kind of a footnote. The PS1 era is more of a breakout era, I think, for the female character, in the sense that we have some really strong female leads and games designed around them, such as Dino Crisis, Resident Evil, Parasite Eve, Tomb Raider, Mischief Makers, Perfect Dark, and Clock Tower. Now, on the PS1, it's mostly survival horror with the exception of Tomb Raider. But that's fine. I think that's really awesome that there was such a standout for the female character, on that console. And also on the Nintendo 64, we did have a couple of interesting titles that, were, very different from each other, but that did have strong female leads. Now, the Xbox, PS2, and GameCube definitely had some games with female characters as leads, but I didn't really focus my efforts on that. For that, I would refer you to Terry 309 and or BioPhoenix. Instead, I want to focus on the real opening of the floodgates for the female character in the modern gaming era. This was just based off of a little bit of research on my part from the PS3 and Xbox 360 era through to today. What are some of the games that have strong female leads that are the main character? Well, it's funny you should ask, because I've got quite the list. Starting with A Hat in Time, Alien Isolations, Atelier, the entire series, Bayonetta, Battlefield 5, Caladrius Blaze, Celeste, Control, Cooking Mama, Cosmic Star Heroine, Deception 4 Blood Ties, Freedom Planet, Genshin Impact, Gianna Sisters, Twisted Dreams, Half-Life Alyx, Hatsune Miku, Horizon, Zero Dawn, Hyperdimension Neptunia, the entire series. I don't know why I whispered. Immortals, Phoenix Rising, Life is Strange, Lollipop Chainsaw, Cameo, Elements of Power, Mirror's Edge, Nier Automata, Knights of Azure, Okami, Okami Den, Portal, Raji, River City Girls, Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, Sayonara, Umihara, Kawase, Schoolgirl, Zombie Hunter, Senran Kagura, the entire series, Shantae, the entire series, Song of the Deep, Super Princess Peach, Touhou, the entire series, Uncharted, Lost Legacy, Walking Dead, Season 2. And that's just to name a few. So the question, are females well represented in video gaming? Look, we could sit here and talk about some of the issues with the portrayal of women in video games, such as whitewashing and colorism, which are two issues that bother me quite a bit. But to say that they're not represented in video games at all is unfactual. And I think that's a stereotype that kind of exists with video gaming and video gamers, is that there is no representation for females. And the fact that this is solely a list comprising female lead characters that can represent the whole game and the experience, I think shows that the medium is diverse and is becoming diverse. It wasn't at certain stages in the history. When you look back at what are a lot of people's favorite eras for video games, they didn't have as many female leads as we have today, which, I mean, that could say something in and of itself. But look, you now have the chance to play a game where you can resonate with the main character across multiple genres, such as platformers, action adventure, RPG, rhythm games, simulation, first-person shooter, third-person shooter, survival horror, and many more. And so, for that reason, I think my vote goes to yes, female characters are well represented in video games. Sorry for the long response, but hope it was worth it. All right, I just want to make sure I didn't miss any video games that have female leads in them. You know, there's quite a lot with females in them, but I just want to make sure. Wait. No. 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 Screw it, I'm changing my vote.